Anyone?
Well, Ted's the vice chair, so.
Go ahead,
Call
Ted.
it. Here's your thing.
Call the meeting to order. Thank you for coming, Mark. You saved us.
Yeah, it's the traffic.
All right, so now we have to nominate somebody for
Now we-
chairman? That would be nice.
Start at the chair and work down.
I nominate Ted for chair.
I can't, I
Doesn't
don't
make sense.
think I can do that, Mark.
That's what I was gonna
I don't think I can technically do it. I can help, that's about it.
All right, so who's next?
do. Okay. I'll nominate Brian.
No, I can't do it either. So,
I think it's gonna end up being you.
I'm not here in the winter.
Me either.
Sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not.
we just gotta get out there and get some people involved, I guess.
They could always reorganize when new members get on, correct?
Can we do that?
I think you need a chairman now.
You want to do it.
Four
That's been on the board.
currently,
And then you
and
can.
there's three more that we need to fill.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're it right now.
I'm
willing
willing to help was the chairman.
Don't look at me like that. I'm not here enough in the winter. I'm not gonna give
I
that
had
up.
told Ted I'd help him.
Claire?
Ted, we'll help you through it.
All right.
I had told him I'd help him. I've done it before, so.
Remake the motion?
I did.
Remake it?
Make the motion, we select Ted as our chair for now.
Second.
Thank you.
And you new members, Ted, you can make a motion to assign a new chair.
Right.
Vice chair?
So you've got to
Want
say,
to make a motion on that?
they're gonna want to do it all at once. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to have Claire as vice chair. She's been there before.
Yeah, I've
Second.
done it before.
Second.
And clerk?
Wanna keep that,
That's
Brian?
a tough job, so I don't know. if I can-
I don't know, you,
No,
I
take
noticed you
that
get some
one.
cramps every now and then.
Yeah.
I make a motion, we keep Brian. Seconds?
Yep.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Minutes?
Can I make a motion to accept the minutes as written for May 18th, May 31st, June 8th, and June 21st?
Second.
And you're supposed to say all in favor.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We just have to sign.
So what do we got? The
Just have
8th,
to
the
find-
21st?
Yeah.
May 18th, May 31st.
Together? I don't seem to have a May 18th.
Did you mix them up already?
I didn't.
This is June. The June was.
Should be May 18th, May 31st, June 8th, and June 21st.
It's May 18th.
Okay, now we got them all. All right.
Amazing.
Who had the agenda?
What?
I say, who had the agenda?
Me? Did you see this one? This is a copy. Not yet. Heading to that front end.
While he's signing those, I have a possible candidate for finance committee.
Super.
He said I could say that he's interested. Scott Sheridan, my son-in-law.
Yeah, he just has to fill out an appointment application, and I'll send it to Paul.
Okay.
Because he's the appointing.
He wondered who he had to contact, so I told him I'd find out.
Yeah, if he contacts me, I can send him the form.
Okay. Yeah, he said he'd be interested. I kind of strong-armed at a few picnics and that this summer. Said we need somebody. So. I also asked Lucy Allen if she'd post it in the library.
Oh, yeah?
And then I was thinking Lester Paquin for the senior center. If it's posted on a bulletin board, they might get somebody.
Help spread the word.
Yeah, yeah.
Dr. Lester?
I haven't yet.
Been vacant for a while.
I talked to Lucy, but I didn't get a chance to call
I will.
Lester today,
Yes.
but I
That's what I
will.
just said, the forms come through me, and then
And
I send
Lucy.
them to Paul.
Said she'd see that it would be in the library.
Good to have somebody that can see what's there.
Veto power.
I thought, why didn't I think of
Okay.
that before?
So, the next, go ahead.
Actually, we're going to talk with the fire chief.
Can we just do the interdepartmental transfer quick?
Oh, yeah, right. Good.
And I think, Ryan, you have the original?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I just need you guys to vote on that. And if you could vote with a dollar figure, that would be perfect.
What was this one?
Is it normal to have this many? I don't remember.
Yeah,
having this many.
sometimes we do.
Can I make a motion on the total? Make a motion. We accept the amount over expended of $20,890.97.
Second.
Say all in favor.
Did they second it? Oh, pretty quiet.
Oh, I'll second it on that.
Aye.
Big. Aye. Here we go.
That's better.
Motion's been made, seconded, and approved.
Great.
I'll help you through this.
So everybody has to,
Yeah.
Everyone
Everybody
needs to
has to
sign that, yeah.
You signed just the one copy, Faye? Or do
That's
we have
it.
to sign? Okay.
Nope, just one copy.
Is that finally ended last year?
I believe so.
Last
It
year's
closes out
closed?
16 now, right?
they're wrapped up.
Good.
All set.
Thank you. All right, Rob, you're in the hot seat.
Cold
Did
seat.
everybody get a copy of mine?
It was emailed.
I did.
to everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
I haven't got
Yeah,
it.
yours got back for some reason. Your email.
I didn't bring any extra.
We can make copies. Do you want a copy?
Yeah, I got
Yeah, I
it.
love them. Yes.
So basically, I just wanted to fill in, the selectmen especially, and the board. Last Tuesday, our ladder truck went for his annual service with the town mechanic. And this year, as he was climbing underneath, he found some severe corrosion to the cab mounts, the part that holds the cab onto the frame. It's beyond repairable, or it'd be repairable, but it would be financially, it just wouldn't make any sense. The truck's in 1977, it's 39 years old. We bought it in 2008 to replace the 1968. We bought it because our previous ladder failed its annual certification test. This truck is due for its certification test at the end of March, beginning of April timeframe, and there's a good possibility it's not gonna pass. If it fails, we have to take it out of service immediately, and we won't be able to use it. So I felt that it was my obligation to inform everybody that
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
that's the possibility that it might not pass, and if it doesn't, we're gonna be without a ladder truck.
And when is that gonna be trucked?
The test
Test.
is gonna be the end of March, beginning of April. It's due right around that time frame. So whenever we schedule the company, there's a chance the company could come out and it could pass, and I'm not saying it's definitely gonna fail, but I think it's a high probability, and I just assume give you some more heads up than
Yeah.
call you at the last
Okay.
second and say that it didn't
Yeah.
make it. So we're currently down a fire truck.
Mm.
I'm in the process, we got 100,000 at town meeting to buy a used engine to replace the 1986 engine from Southbury. It's very hard to find a decent truck. Unfortunately, fire trucks are not cheap. I think I found one. I've been in the process with Heather this last week, typing up a bid, and hopefully we'll get that put out soon, and we should get that engine back for Southbury. So currently, we're down one truck, and then if we lose this one, and even if the truck passes its test, it's gonna come down to a safety issue as well for the firefighters. I mean, right now, the ladder sits on the back and sits over the cab. That's kind of what's holding the cab onto the frame. So at some point, even if it passes for a safety aspect, I mean, it's 39 years old, we can't really complain with its service. It's done a lot for the town. It's a very good truck, so for the 10,000, I think they paid for it, and then we've probably put about 25,000 into it over the last six years to keep it on the road.
Heather, what's the capital plan look like regarding?
Rob and I talked about that. The year that that's was supposed
Thank
to
you.
be set to be replaced for is fiscal 18. And then the amount we had in the plan
19.
was
Fiscal 19.
fiscal 19, I'm sorry.
Fiscal
For
19.
For the ladder truck for 300,000.
300,000 for a used ladder truck. I did just for figures today, I did call the fire truck company. I called the mid-grade, there's obviously Cadillacs and then there's the cheap. I called the very midline trucks. And that truck, as is today, that same exact truck in today's standard is 805,000 brand new. And that's pretty much a basic truck with no options, and it goes up substantially from there to well over $1 million for a ladder truck, so I didn't want to run those numbers. Our truck currently is just a ladder truck. It only carries ground ladders and the aerial itself. They do make ladder trucks that have pumps and water tanks. It can kind of do both as an engine and a ladder. Unfortunately, that adds about $100,000 to the truck, so you can
Used? How about used?
used. I did look, I did get some numbers. I just was on the fire trucks are pretty specialized markets, so it's not like there's a whole lot of dealers out there. There's about 4 national dealers. I did went on their website today just to look at a few, and I mean, to really get something that would last 15 to 20 years for us, we would need something that'd be between 10 to 15 years old, and those go between 3 to 500,000 depending on condition, mileage, and stuff like that. So I found a few that were out there, and really, I think.
Find some in Arizona where there's no rust?
Yeah, well, that's on the other side
Southern
of it.
California.
Anything you buy from the Northeast
Yeah.
is
Right.
So you kind of got to look down south or out west where they don't have the corrosion issues we have up here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when most communities buy fire trucks, they buy them for the duration of the truck's life. And when
Right.
they get rid of them,
Yeah.
they're not getting rid of quality trucks. So there are some quality. I'm not saying there's not quality trucks out there. You just have to be in a position where if you had some money set aside and wait when you find it, because those trucks do go quick. I mean, there's a lot of communities that buy quality used trucks. I mean, for what the number of calls that our ladder truck responds to, I think buying a brand new truck probably isn't. It'd be nice, and I'd be all for it, but financially, I mean, 800,000.
It won't happen.
Yeah, so I think a used truck is certainly feasible. However, I don't know if FY19, if it passes this year, it certainly will pass the year after. I can almost guarantee that, and just from the safety aspect of things. I know we had appropriated at town meeting 210,000 for SCBA's, and then we got the grant, so we didn't have to spend that money. And I had brought up at the selectmen's meeting, using that money to purchase another used engine. because the other issue currently we're running into is our newest engine, the truck that pumps water, is 17 years old, and it's severely corroded. We have a 20-year-old and a 20, our three engines that we have now are 17, 20, and 26 years old. And they've, the town bought a brand new engine in 1987, 1990, 1996, and 1999. We haven't bought an engine since 1999, and they're getting to be well used. So I believe the newest engine, the 17-year-old engine, doesn't have a lot of life left, just due to corrosion. The town mechanic does an excellent job at keeping it on the road, but it requires quite a bit of work and maintenance. The 26-year-old truck is actually in much better shape. That truck was refurbished in 2004. It had a brand new cab put on, and then the pump blew up a few years ago, and they put a brand new pump. So the truck is, even though it's 26 years old, it's in much better shape than the 17-year-old
How
truck.
much does the refurbish cost generally, roughly?
$250,000. Generally speaking, and I've discussed with some truck manufacturers that do the refurbishment, and they say anytime it would cost 50% or more of the truck's replacement value to refurbish it, they generally won't even bid on it to refurb it because it's not worth it. An engine, a brand new engine, as is we have today, is between $500,000 to $550,000. Again, there are some quality used engines out there. You're gonna, right now with the 100,000 I'm looking at, most of the trucks are mid-1990s, which is already 20 years old, and it's gonna require some maintenance. We're not gonna buy it, put it in the station, and have it ready to go, unfortunately. So we are in a kind of a tough spot when it comes to equipment.
Yes.
We did have a house fire in March, well, it could have been in February when it was at 15 below zero. We had a house fire right down the street at 86 West Street, and the ladder truck broke in the station, didn't make it, and the engine from Station 2 was broke, and the other engine from Station 2 broke at the fire. So at that fire, we went down, 3 trucks. Fortunately, the first truck that got there was able to put the fire out, but if that truck had broken, we would have lost the house. We were able to save the house with substantial damage, but the house is still there. We had to call Rutland in for a ladder because they were the next closest, and it took them probably 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
It was 2 in the morning. And then later on that afternoon, we had a chimney fire on Old Dana Road, and we had to call Rutland for a ladder because we couldn't get ground ladders to where the chimney was to put the fire out. So, that was a tough morning to lose 3 trucks at
I
once.
guess so.
But knock on wood, we have a great town mechanic that does
Yes,
a good
we
job
do.
keeping them in service.
We
So
do.
we're very lucky to have Jimmy.
That's right.
I did feel that I should just inform you that there is the possibility the truck
Yeah.
might go out of service in the springtime. It might not. And if it doesn't, well, we're probably only gonna get 1 more year out of it, and then it definitely is not gonna make it. So I just wanted.
Great.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And again, if that 210, if there's a way we could take that and maybe put that towards, a used ladder, or combine that with the 300, I think having 500 we'd be able to find a decent
But you
truck under that.
can't do that. Heather, right?
Well,
It's an article.
We would have to have the article,
Just
we would have to
revote it.
re-vote it, I believe.
Right.
Special
At a town meeting.
Special town meeting.
Right.
I did,
Yeah.
this year, we did put in for a grant for $825,000 to replace the truck. With the grant for the SCBA's, I just got the letter saying we didn't get the ladder truck. The grant for this current year opens in 2 weeks. I will be putting in for probably $900,000 this year for a new truck.
Great job, by the
Good.
way, on the airpack.
Thank you.
That was
Yeah.
fantastic.
With that
Good.
grant, every year you were only able to pick to put in for a truck or equipment. So we did put in for the truck a few times. Unfortunately, due to the number of trucks being requested and the money, they give out very few just because you're talking about $1 million at a pop generally. This year was the first year you were able to put in for a truck and equipment, so we did that, you know, luckily we were able to get the equipment. This year we can do the same, put in for a truck and equipment, so in 2 weeks when the grant opens again, I'll be putting in for another ladder truck, and knock on wood, we'll do good this year.
That would be
but
something.
It's,
We did.
you know, they give out very few trucks, so that's usually the hardest thing to get.
And that's, what kind of a region does that cover?
That covers
grant?
the entire United States. It
Oh my
covers
God.
every fire department in the country.
Oh, so it's federal grant?
Yeah, it's a federal grant from FEMA, and it comes from the National Fire Academy, and it's very competitive, because I mean, just about every fire
Obviously,
department in the
yeah.
country is applying for something.
Sure.
And, you know, like Lowell, the city of Lowell, they got 1.2 million for a new ladder truck, so if you're looking at it, it's kind of how you justify Barry getting a ladder truck versus a city like Lowell that's using it quite a bit more than we are using ours, so.
Good.
Submit that grant, does it have to be specific for one vehicle? Or can you say we've got 2 vehicles that desperately need to be replaced?
No.
Can you fund the one vehicle? In other words, can you
Yes.
throw it out there, we got $1.5 million worth we gotta spend, could you cover $1 million?
The way the grant works is, based on your population, there's a percentage. So due to our population, we have to pay 5%. So like for the air packs, the grant itself was $240,000. The town is responsible for $11,000, and FEMA paid the $229,000. So if we put in for $900,000 for a ladder truck, we're responsible for 5% of that. We can certainly pay more. So if we found a truck and the town could say, we can fund $100,000 out of town dollars, we still have that, you know, depending on whatever truck we're going to
$1
get.
million if you want to.
The way I did write the grant this last year, they call it a ladder truck engine, they call it quint. I put in for a quint so that the ladder truck would have a pump and a tank, and it can kind of do both jobs as an engine and as a ladder truck.
So we lost an engine at the time to have that,
Yep.
to keep it going.
Yep, I mean, it does everything an engine, it does have limitations. I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect replacement for both, but it's, for us, we could make it work, and it would certainly take the job if we did lose an engine, you know, whatever happens that way. So when I put in for the grant again this year, I will be putting in for the dual purpose quint, using the example that, you know, we have a 17-year-old truck and a 39-year-old truck that both need to be replaced. So hopefully, the older the trucks on the grant, the better it is for us, so hopefully it works.
I got one question. Instead of maybe possibly going to a complete refurbish, in a way, we're trying to maybe buy 6 months to get to that next fiscal. Is there maybe 20,000 we might be able to throw into a truck to more likely maintain the safety and get through the certification so we can get into next July for?
Absolutely, and that's, in 2008, that was what, in 2008, when our ladder was tested, it was in 1968, it failed. The best, you know, that Fitchburg happened to be decommissioning a truck at the same time, and they sold us their truck for $10,000, kind of as a temporary replacement. And, I mean, like I said, we had to put $5,000 into it immediately to get it roadworthy. And then over the years, I mean, it's probably been about $25,000 that's been sunk in the truck. So there's certainly trucks out there for reasonable money, $20,000, $10,000.
And I'm just thinking
But
for
you're-
backup plan, not necessarily the plan.
You're not really getting, you're pretty much buying exactly what you have for that kind of money.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well,
that
Matt,
is
were you talking about
I
just
think you're talking
repairing
about just
our
getting us another
present
6 months kind of thing.
That's
right?
what I was talking about is,
Yeah,
we've
not-
got 2 trucks that we're
Yeah.
both talking about
Right.
are at that corrosion level where either one could
Could
drop
we,
out on us. in
could we
the-
patch those up, is what you're
And is there
saying?
something we might be able to work on patching up now
Our,
that'll
months.
get us to the next fiscal year?
our newest engine, to refurbish that, just as is, would be about $285,000. A couple people have come, a couple of refurb companies have come out without going through too detailed, just rough estimate, about $285,000. So,
But what's, a refurbish is like with the concept of trying to get through 5 more years or something, right?
yeah,
I'm thinking
6 months.
repair your mounting bolts, not refurbish.
I mean.
Get yourself, again, we're just trying to
The
buy 8
engine-
months.
The engine you probably could, the ladder truck, I don't think you can, only because in they don't make any parts for this truck.
Right, and I don't know if, I understand you hit certain limitations with insurance
And then you
coverage
would
and what
have
you can
to-
do to like,
The parts that
Just
you
make
need to
it work,
replace,
if
you
you know
would
what I mean.
probably have to custom fabricate.
that's what I meant, right?
And
yeah.
try to, and if you're gonna spend that kind of money, you'd almost be better off to buy another truck for 20,000 that would be ready to go for a while than try
That
to.
concept you're saying from Fitchburg, and that's one
Well,
would
I
probably
mean,
be.
to custom fabricate.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that cab issue isn't the only issue. It just happens to be the one that would, the
The most
major
obvious.
issue right now.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the cab is sunk down a little bit, it's put stress on the body, so when it goes down the road, it twists and then all the compartments open. And, some of the doors are bungee corded shut.
Yeah, okay.
And we don't want anything obviously hitting anybody and causing injury. We don't want to lose our equipment because that is about as expensive as any town equipment you can think of. Fire
Quite a
equipment
bit
is
adds up to the cost.
quite expensive. And the other issue with the ladder truck that it gives us is actual ground ladders. Because our fire trucks do carry small
Chimney.
ladders, but if we need to get someplace, especially to a roof or a chimney, that's the truck with all the ladders on it. So in addition to the mechanical aerial, it's got all the other ground ladders on it, so. It is an important truck for us. We do use it quite a bit we use it for other than fires too, like, we fixed the flagpole down at Nornay Park, and we fixed the flagpole at Quabbin High School yesterday due to the weekend storm damage, so. We put the decorations up, and we use it in the community as much as it's needed, as well as just firefighting and rescue operations.
So
Thank you.
it sounds like you're saying
What
we
happens
have-
if March comes along and the truck doesn't pass?
We have to take it out of service immediately.
Yeah, so I'm saying is, that's the critical thing, we have to do something now.
And the
Something
closest,
now.
and for us, the closest ladder trucks are Rutland, Athol has one, and Gardner has one. So unfortunately, there's,
2,000-3,000.
that you're talking about 15, on the best day, 20 minutes for any of those towns to get here, if not longer. And, if you have a chimney fire at your house, you don't want to wait 20 minutes to get somebody to go up to the top of the chimney.
Turns it into a house fire.
Yeah, and that's how they turn into house fires. Or, God forbid, somebody's trapped in an apartment, especially in the center of town. From the back alley, those top apartments are 6 stories from the ground. We don't have any ladders that can reach those apartments. It's the only way to get up there, God forbid, if anybody was trapped. That's the only way we're gonna be able to get them out. And to wait for Gardner or Athol or Rutland to show up, it's a long way. Not the best news.
Well,
I think
get
it's
your
better
work
to hear
set
it
up
now
for you.
than to hear it in March. And like I said, there's a possibility it's gonna pass, but I will assure you, if it passes this year, it's not gonna make it one more year.
Do we have a fire truck scheduled for the next 3 years on the CIP plan?
No.
Or just one engine this next year and the ladder truck the year after?
Yeah.
Or vice versa?
So
It's a
as
ladder
of now, on the capital plan, there is no other fire
Nothing
trucks
for
on
next
there at
year.
all.
Just
Nothing
the
for
ladder
18.
truck.
Just the ladder truck in FY '19
19.
for 300,000. That's why I thought
Yeah.
with the money we didn't spend on the air packs,
Switch over.
Yeah.
it would probably be worth reinvesting that into a truck. Whether we make that the ladder truck or, unfortunately, for 210, I don't think you could get a ladder truck that has both a pump and a tank that would be in shape to last 15 years. I think for a little bit more money on that 300,000, you could buy a decent Quint where you have a tank and a pump, and then that would probably last, if we could get a truck that was 15 years old, that would probably last Barry 15 to 20 years. And I think that's probably
That's right.
the financial way to go. I mean, I think 800,000 for a used truck is out of the question. Be nice.
Now, what about like you did for Fitchburg, the truck we got from Fitchburg?
Good luck.
That, we
Can
just
you
happened to be,
find-
it just happened to be coincidence that they literally took their truck, they put it out for public bid the day that our ladder truck failed its inspection. And that truck was actually gonna be bought by collectors. I mean, there was no other municipal department that was gonna buy that truck. It was gonna be bought by.
So you
Fire
could, between
collectors.
now and March, you could keep your eyes open.
courts.
right?
Certainly,
For a lucky thing.
we could, but
Where would the funding come
you
from?
you don't just
Yeah.
have to have the money
You don't
available.
have- we don't have any
sitting-
funding for that.
Right.
Right.
But you have the power for borrowing, right? Is that what that
You
article?
can't need authorization at town meeting
Yeah,
for borrowing.
yeah.
So we'd have to have a town meeting.
Yeah, but we do have that borrowing power.
Capacity, but
Yeah,
we built in the 210, that was
Yeah.
a borrowing
Yeah.
item. And the
Because I-
remainder, we'd have to look at sources, whether it come
Yeah.
out of stabilization, the balance, or.
In your letter, you make reference to the NFPA,
Yes.
saying that you really need to replace them 25 years.
That's the standard NFPA
So-
recommendation, yes.
So if we got something that was already 15 years old, we wouldn't really get 15, 20 years out of it, according.
According to the NFPA, no. However, the NFPA's recommendation, when they do our ISO insurance ratings and stuff, they reference everything at NFPA. We don't get credit now for the truck we have.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
to me personally, NFPA is a great reference if you can follow it.
good standard.
But there's very few departments in this country that can follow to a T.
Yep.
When it comes to the ladder truck, it doesn't do a lot of the calls. The engines do a majority of all the calls. So I really feel, a 15-year-old truck would last Barry.
Okay.
We do maintain our stuff pretty as best we
It
can.
comes down to inspection, really, is what it is.
Yeah, and that's what that annual inspection,
Right.
that's, they're looking for all the stuff on there. So far, it's
I'm
passed.
gonna ask
I hope it does.
Heather.
But at the other side, it's gonna come down to safety too. I mean, we can't have the cab, you hit the brake and have the cab fly off the truck. That would
That would not be
that
okay.
wouldn't
Be
be good.
embarrassing.
That would just be bad.
Yeah, yes.
Now, Fay, refresh my memory. On stabilization, if something came up in an emergency and you needed, to take some money out of that, it still has to go to a town meeting, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was some way you could take money out of stabilization without going to a town meeting. You
Mhm.
have to have one. Yeah.
The amount of money needs to go before that time.
Right.
for vote.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
no problem. And
thanks, Ron.
the guy I spoke with today did say that used trucks and new trucks go up between 4 to 5% every 18 months. There's a 4 to 5% increase on the trucks. That even applied to used trucks.
Ours must be worth a fortune.
There's a lot of collectors that would like to have that truck for their collection.
Great.
Is that part of your plan? To find a collector for this one?
A collector you wouldn't get any trade value for it, that's for sure. It's probably worth more in scrap aluminum than anything. But that is something to think about, that, he said realistically every 18 months is about a 4 to 5% increase. So we'll be talking about, 500,000 or so, that's quite a bit of upcharge. Nothing goes down.
When's our next town meeting?
Not till
June.
June.
Unless the selectmen schedule a special election.
If something comes up before then, but.
Problem with that is it costs the town like 7, 8 grand to have an election. so-
Not a
Town
town
meeting.
meeting.
No, a town meeting,
Select-
okay.
much less.
What's the cost on town meeting? Is it
I
around
think
10?
the last average I got from Ellen was around 5.
Oh,
But, I
yeah.
mean, it's the cost of the election workers.
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
That's it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
No problem.
Thanks for bringing that burden to the table.
Yeah.
Sharing your burden, I should say, not.
When he called me and said, you gotta come down here, I said, I know this isn't gonna be a good, you gotta come down here for a good reason.
Gotta have that
But
news.
he is a good, we're lucky we have the town mechanic, and he does a good
Jimmy
job.
does.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Peace.
Have a
Thanks
good
a lot,
night.
Rob.
thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have for you
Tell me
guys
how you fix
tonight.
that. I'll see it.
Except, if we wanna talk about our next meeting, when you guys wanna meet. And, I think I'm gonna try to, I didn't have time to get to putting together a preliminary, schedule leading into the season, so keep that in mind. Probably meet again, I would say, there's no priority, so if we meet again maybe in a month,
Hmm.
At that point, I should be able to have all the budgets ready to, budget letter to ship out, that type of thing. And look for a
What's
return
good,
date.
right?
Wednesday's good.
Yeah.
Wednesday's good.
Wednesday's still good?
Just don't do it the first week of October or the last week of October.
Okay, so in the middle's okay?
Wake up call?
For us, this
I don't know what
year,
happened.
Yeah, I know what happened. I thought it happened myself.
capital plan, if we can also do, because this is a working document, so each year
Yeah.
we update the capital plan, and we also send out a request form for capital needs to make sure we update our plan in line with our budgets.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
can put something together to go along.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so, do you want to look at like October 12th or the 19th?
Mhm.
Yep, earlier. 12th is better.
12th is better? What, are you leaving already?
I gotta go down to DC again.
How's the 12th for everybody?
Good.
It'd be the second Wednesday of the month.
Mhm.
The 12th? 12th is a Tuesday.
No, October 12th.
Oh,
10th.
The month, the year does go by, doesn't it?
Sure
It's
does.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Especially when you start making dates.
Yeah.
Makes it go quicker, you know, I think. So the 12th works for everyone?
Mhm.
7
I'm not
o'clock?
sure,
Yep.
but I'll let you know.
Okay. Could you confirm that sooner than later? So I could try to
Yeah.
work to reschedule if not?
Yeah,
Okay,
yep, I just have to check the calendar.
okay. So we'll do tentatively the 12th at 7.
Mhm.
And that's it, and I'll try to work up a schedule off of that. Probably look at like a month out from that. And then, October, November, maybe could be a month if we want to try to hit the
We should
capital.
get budgets back for start of the year.
Yep.
Schedule
Yep.
every department.
Yeah, I think last year's budget season went pretty good. I think we were
Yep.
done pretty
Fantastic.
early and
Mm.
gave us a lot of time to
Yeah,
work
if we
things
get
out.
the
I think
letter.
we're done the first
out.
week of April this year,
Yeah.
I think. So, try to hit a calendar, come up with a calendar for you guys and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
One question I have in general, recognizing the situation where even if we were to remove the borrowing level of the 200 for the town meeting, we're still gonna be falling short of the used vehicle for the engine, let alone the ladder.
Mm.
How does it work if we got to the point where we thought it might be worth doing a specialty fundraiser to the town, where it's like, you know, you do the old thermometer with the red line going up, we want to raise
Yeah.
money for a new ladder truck? Is it just, for a municipality, is it pretty much we just work with the treasurer, set up a special account, monies come in, they're assigned specifically for it by a check or some means?
I think that has to be a non-town entity.
It has to be a
that
private
raise-
entity to run it, and then they send one big check
Funds.
saying, please buy a truck.
Yeah.
Mm.
And the town-
Have to set up
I
a
think a lot of
GoFundMe.
times you see like a Friends of groups, Friends of, let's
Yeah.
say, Fire Department, and
Mm.
that's who campaigns that.
Mm.
We did it for the town hall when we had to repaint the town hall.
I'm just thinking, it sounds like we're hitting a point where we're gonna be hit with two major capital investments, and it's another way of getting the town involved without feeling like the entire town has to if they don't think they can afford it.
Mm.
But you get it out there letting you know we need it,
Mm.
not saying the whole town has to throw in the money, but if
Mm.
people have the money, write your own check, put it to the system, see what you can do.
Well, if you go more public with it, there are people that were born and brought up in Barry. that
It
live
doesn't
in
even
other
have to be
towns
that
and
though,
out.
if you find the right organization.
Well, that's the other part, right.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
start really spreading the word, and you may have beneficiaries you have no clue sometimes, so I
'Cause
just
I
didn't
know
know
one
if
that
that's an option and how we
Donated
go
the
about it.
children's room for the library, paid for the cost.
Right.
Like Fay was saying, if you put it out to the right organization, they will try to raise money nationally, or at least New England instead of Barry.
Right.
That's really, I think, the better way to go, unless you want to set up a GoFundMe page.
maybe we can talk to Rob about the firefighters association, because that's more of a larger group, not just individuals.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They're technically a non-profit, right? They're not necessarily like a union, they're just a firefighter on part of the union, the group. That's all, I was just, so maybe try to talk to Rob and see what his thoughts are, because I think it'll only help if we can find anybody that's, because I'm sure he's gonna say the entire firefighters association, every station's gonna ask for the same thing, so they may not be the ones that wanna sponsor something just for this town, because then no one else gonna do it for the town. So we may just need to find if there's an organization in Barry that would want to do that, such as create that. That might be a little way of getting that to, okay.
Yeah.
It was just a thought, I just didn't know how to go about it.
Just another idea. What about insight meditation? They probably would donate.
Well, it's a thing, yeah, if you open up.
7 Hills,
Yeah.
you'd need ladders on that building. You know, all of these, if they're made known that they know that it's needed and they're looking for donations for it,
Yeah.
to have it put out.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Well-
We have the land for the public safety building for them.
Yeah.
But that's, they haven't paid taxes
What do we call
since
it?
they first started.
Make a motion, we
That's a lot of
adjourn.
money.
Good. Second.
That's a lot of money, right, Charlie?
It was like,
It is.
budget stuff.
And all the police and the ambulance and everything that go there.
All right, so I'll see you guys on the 12th. I'll just send out an
I'm just
email.
trying to